going up Sgurr in Stri. Often held as one of the best views on Skye. It's not a Munro, it's not a Corbett, it's 494 metres. It's basically a bump. But with a 12k hike in and the same back, it still takes a good bit of effort, so let's get going. For a fairly low level hike for most of this, there's no shortage of views to be had. Here I've just picked out some heather and grass with that wee tree just as some foreground elements for Sgurr na Gillian. It's spear-like tips just peeking into the clouds there. It's a fine picture. It's definitely not one for the portfolio, but nice enough. Came off path a wee bit here just to try and use the river Sgurr just as a leading line up to the mountain. I couldn't quite get it to work. The troubles these trees, which I thought were actually going to help, actually hinder and pretty much block the view of the river, stopping it from being a good leading line. As you can see, without those trees you'd get a clear view of that river taking your eye straight up. There's probably an image here. I just didn't want to spend too long in this spot. The great thing about this hike is it is all on a fantastically laid path, so straight back on and forward we went. Wasn't long before we passed another little stream that I wanted to try and get. I quite like these foxgloves, however I don't feel this image works. But winter time, less grass and snow, I think that could be a really good black and white image. So I'll keep it in the bank. I'm intending to come back and do this hike again in snow and winter time. Now that I've scoped it out and I know what I'm actually going into. Looking up Harta Quarry here towards Sgurr na Gillian, the lighting is fantastic. I couldn't really get a foreground object and I didn't want to go off path, so I ended up putting the drone up, which you can see just here, meaning that I could use those lochans as the foreground. About 10 years ago I had a go at this hike before, however I had to turn back as I ended up on the wrong side of the river. And here I am making the same mistake. However, thankfully I noticed quick enough and got back onto the correct path.
Fool me once. Shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Starting the ascent, you really started to feel a bit more of a work kicking in. As much as your legs have been going, this is when they actually start having to put a bit of effort in, especially getting that pack up these. It was pretty warm this day as well, so I'm not going to lie, I was pissing of sweat at this point. Reaching a plateau, I decided to get the bag off my back for a wee bit and I backtracked along the ridge to Maelderg. The light was looking pretty decent from what I could see and I thought it was worth a chance. I was very aware of my time. As usual, I didn't set off with a huge amount to spare, so I literally just brought the wide angle lens in my telephoto, my 28 to 200, left everything else at the back, which was probably a bit of a mistake, but it did give me the advantage of speed getting over these rocks. I had a quick safety shot, just grabbed this one. With the light being so precise, using the clouds in the mountains, I really expected this to be gone within a matter of seconds, so I grabbed this quick shot, just using the puddle as a foreground, the texture of the rocks leading you up towards the hills and the sun in the background. Thankfully it did hung about for ages actually, so I hit this small lochan which was a wee bit further along, and thankfully the reflections were beautiful. Kind of wish I had my ND filters and my tripod just to smooth this out, but I don't think there's much loss just due to how calm the conditions were. Just a couple of different perspectives here. I think I prefer the first one, the rock, and the second one. Looking at this in post kind of cuts off some of the reflection. Meaning the clouds look a bit overlapped and unpleasantly. I could have spent a long time here, but I was well aware that I've added a good bit of distance getting here, and time was ticking away very quickly. So popped back to the bag, got it stuck in my back, and well, really it was just time to hurry up and get moving. Me blowing at my arse there is just from hiking up this hill. I only ran for the camera. Anyway, got to the summit, ditched the bag. I didn't have much time. The sun was disappearing quick. So this is the view that this hike is for. Straight down Loch Cruisk, you've got the Coolins in the background, and thankfully this time of year, the sun setting just behind them. So quickly set my tripod up and ended up settling on this panorama, just allowing Loch Cruisk to flow in from the left and guide you straight up to that sunset, complemented by the ridge of the Coolins. Now this is about 10:30, 11:15 at night. It's obviously middle of July just now while I'm doing this, so the days are long in Skye. There was some nice cloud moving in. Thank Christ I wasn't on the top of that hill, I'd be raging. But the view was spectacular. That's just a final shot with the drone, just another panoramic catching the whole thing. And if you ever wonder where Leto goes, Nyx follows me. She is a shadow. Leto, however, wee bit older, wee bit lazier. She'll just sit by the bag and wait for you to come back. So I got tent set up. I was bivvying this time, and I've got the tarp just as some extra protection. I actually loved this spot. It was really nice and protected just from that tiny wee bit of wind there was with the tarp. Finally getting dinner around about midnight, and it was really needed. Everything had been so rushed through the hike. I'd not eaten a thing actually since I started, which was a big mistake. I did feel it the next day because I've obviously let my muscles sort of run on empty. But overall the hike was fantastic. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Every subscription, comment, like, it all helps out a lot. You can check out all my photos on Instagram at 4pads. The link's down in the description. And thanks again for watching.